my friends, my name is Dragonheart the Prince of Wales and welcome to another top 5 video on the channel. Today we will be looking at the top 5 most challenging factions or most challenging starts for factions in the Total War series. And in this video I will be looking at stuff such as economy, troop variation, neighbours, allies, enemies, all of that sort of thing. And of course this will be in my opinion as well, so you may agree or disagree with many of the things, but by all means let me know in the comments section below what your sort of belief is of your top 5 most challenging factions in Total War. We'll start off with an honourable mention. I've gone with Total War Warhammer here, and I've gone with Crooked Moon and with Skarsnik. Their economy is absolutely rubbish. You have to basically take Carrick 8 peaks to get the very best units that your faction can offer. So whereas most factions it's quite viable to sort of migrate elsewhere on the map. take your dwarves or your vampires or your empire units or whatever, and try and settle down elsewhere. With these, you basically your faction is buggered. Your faction is buggered until you get to Carrick 8 peaks. So a little bit like the dwarves that have to take Carrick 8 peaks as well. With Skarsnik, you are fighting a losing battle with your economy. Everybody in the campaign hates you. It's one of the most fun and challenging factions, as well as the dwarves of Clan Angrand. But I've gone with Skarsnik mainly because of those units. The units you start off with are quite rubbish, to be fair, and you will be up against it from the off. So I've gone with them as an honourable mention, and now we'll start off with number 5. Okay, for number 5 I have gone with the Ottoman Empire, and that is for Empire Total War. Now, Empire isn't one of my favourite Total War games ever, but the Ottoman Empire is definitely the most challenging faction within Empire. You start off with lots and lots of land, you have lots of enemies that hate you, and your units are very, very poor. You have very, almost like peasant units, some of them, to be fair. Most of the mainland European superpowers, the likes of sort of France, Austria, Russia, they have far superior infantry and cavalry. They have better technology early on as well. The Ottoman Empire, quite often you'll find yourself ceding land, trying to get peace deals with some of these major European powers, giving away some of your land, which, to be fair, some of it is worthless to begin with, to try and keep hold of your empire before you can build yourself up. So they're probably the most challenging faction, I think, in Empire, and that's why they have the number 5 slot. Okay, number 4, I have gone with the Masai or Masai. I do apologise if I pronounced that incorrectly, but it is quite difficult for me to pronounce it, I think. I've gone with these because they are a desert kingdom in Rome 2. They have very slow research rate. They have very crap desert units, in my opinion. They're okay perhaps in the desert, but once you've sort of got a foothold in the desert and you want to expand north elsewhere on the map, basically your units won't have the same bonuses and buffs that they would fighting on sand. So that is a big problem. Basically you have very powerful neighbours. You have Egypt on sort of the one side, you have Carthage and its mighty war elephants and whatnot the other side. You are a small fish in a very large pond, and you don't really have the best of money starting off as well. So quite a few things against you there, and that's why I've gone with these for the number 4 slot. Number 3, I have gone with the Ricean Kingdom, again from Rome 2. Now, Rome 2's got a lot of factions I could have picked. I've gone with the Ricean Kingdom for a few reasons. Again, powerful enemies play a major part. You have the mighty Macedonians, you have Epirus, you have Athens, you have Sparta, all in very close proximity to where the Odrysian Kingdom start. Not to mention all the other neighbouring tribes that are nearby as well. There are no clear allies at the start. Everyone hates you. You are there in your sort of settlement, and you are surrounded by very, very powerful beasts, shall we say. The war machines that are the Hellenic factions. So you're going to be fighting a very uphill battle in this campaign. I've gone with them as number 3, and I think it's justifiable. And maybe there's a few others that can be a bit more troublesome, but certainly the Ricean Kingdom, I think, is up there for most people's top 5 in any Total War game, and that's why I've gone with the number 3 slot for them today. Number 2, and I have gone with the Massagete, or the Massagetai, however you would like to pronounce it. And they are the all-cavalry, or pretty much all-cavalry faction in the north. I think they do have a few cheap sort of spearmen and stuff units, but the vast majority of their roster are cavalry-based, and that's going to be a massive problem when you are trying to expand and you are trying to siege different settlements. I actually like playing as cavalry factions, but I did find it quite frustrating when I played them as these a few years ago. You do have very powerful neighbouring tribes as well, which you're going to have to deal with at the start of your campaign. Once you get a foothold in the north of the map, you know, you pick a direction, you go for it. But like I said, siege battles are going to be a pain in the arse. They certainly have a very unique play style, but it's also a very challenging play style as well. And that's why I've gone with the Massagetai as the number 2 faction on this list. Number 1, and I think most people probably could have guessed this, it is the Western Roman Empire on Total War Attila. Now, this is actually a faction which I have played on the channel, so there should be a link on the screen or something if you want to check out that playlist or that series. But the Western Roman Empire is probably the hardest faction for a number of reasons. It is the biggest faction in Total War Attila. It has some of the best units you can get in Total War Attila, but your economy is totally, you know, it's in the red. You are in an uphill battle to try and manage or micromanage your faction settlements that you own. So do you prioritize holding on to Britain? Do you prioritize holding on to the mainland of Europe or Spain? You've got rebellions cropping up left, right, and center. You will find yourself fighting siege battle after siege battle after siege battle, where you are basically defending your cities with just your standard garrison of 3 or 4 units. And it is, you know, while you're trying to deal with all of that, you've got the Huns growing stronger in the east. Of course, they're going to make an appearance later in the campaign. You need to try and hold on to what you have, fight off any of the rebellions that you're getting, try and consolidate your land somewhere. So if you want to fall back to a certain region, maybe that's your best strategy. But you've also got the Viking threat in the north as well, the factions in the north, the Danes, for example, who might constantly be raiding the coastline of sort of Francia and Britain, of course. So you have got lots of problems early on. I tried doing this campaign on Legendary difficulty. I failed spectacularly. It was probably the hardest campaign I've ever played ever in Total War. That's why I've gone with the number 1 slot for it. I couldn't see any kind of light, but maybe you can. What I would recommend to any of you is put your money where your mouth is, try out the Western Roman Empire campaign on Attila, and try it on Legendary difficulty like I attempted. I mean, I attempted it blind when the game first came out as the very first campaign, so I was a bit stupid in that regard, but certainly if any of you want to try it out, I would definitely recommend it, and let me know how you get off. So that's my list, so let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll be pleased to see what you guys think are, you know, the best or top 5 most challenging starts in Total War from your perspective. Anyway guys, I've been Dragonheart. Until next time, goodbye.